to a podcast full of wonder, excitement, and discovery. It's time for an adventure through Odyssey. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Adventures Through Odyssey podcast, Odyssey Revisited. I'm Will here with Liv, and
reluctantly.
Yeah, I'm Will here with Liv and John. Unfortunately, Gabe is visiting Elizabeth, God bless his soul, and we're having some camera issues this week, meaning, my camera battery wasn't charging, so I'm gonna have to, go to Radio Shack and get it looked at over this week. So, and that's why the most recent episode we did, Album 47, has not been posted yet. And we're hoping to have that up soon, or we're going to have to redo it. Or if someone wants to send us a new camera, we'll email you the information to mail it to me. But anyway, today we're going to talk about the fabled Album 51. Take it from the top. We've made a lot of jokes about this album, so...
Have we?
Well, we made a lot of Fiesta jokes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker jokes. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's get started. The Inspiration Station, parts 1 and 2. Connie loves spending time in Wit's newest invention, the Inspiration Station, but when a glitch shuts down the machine, her obsession may go too far. Meanwhile, Eugene traces the source of the malfunction to Matthew Parker, who apparently has been fixing everybody's electronics with disastrous results.
Well,
Okay, how old is Matthew at this point?
Probably 10 or 12.
I feel like at that age, you kind of should know not to tinker, with other people's electronics like that.
Yeah.
he's got,
Or,
I think he's got ADHD low hardcore. So, since they're not obviously medicating him, the best way to deal with that is to let him just tinker with things.
Yeah.
Because I know that if I'm not doing anything, I will do things like bounce my leg and bob back. My boyfriend actually doesn't really like that.
You should have seen her at lunch today.
I was nuts.
But the one thing I'd like to talk about regarding this episode is this was the first episode back from a 2-year hiatus, and I think they made a big mistake ending kind of phase 2 of the show on that cliffhanger.
Oh,
It
yeah.
didn't even, make sense as a cliffhanger. It's like...
Well,
Push the
what?
red button.
Well, my thought is, okay, so now we come back. Where is everybody? It's now all these new kids. Was Connie just in there for 2 years and Whit forgot? Hey, has anyone seen... What?
Even in Album 50, to a degree, it seemed like they tried to phase a lot of the kids out.
That's true.
By, bringing the old ones.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Maybe, the Washingtons and I guess the Rathbones. I guess also, Bernard and Tom. It's where'd they all go? But
I just like to think Connie was in there for 2 years and came out, oh, all the kids are gone. Whit, you lost so much weight.
It's because he's been starving.
Yeah.
Because you haven't been around, Connie.
And, of course, what does the Inspiration Station actually do?
It just gives you nice vibes.
Well, you'd think so. But in a recent episode called Walter's Flying Bus, it was used as a simile to the Imagination Station just for a more inspirational story.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
just kind of a thing. They thought, maybe they had an idea for something more interesting originally, and they're like, maybe that's not a great idea. Or they just they didn't have anything in mind, and were like, we'll figure it out.
Yes. Parkers are good at this point for what we see of them. And it's nice to see Connie kind of have a freak out. Like she doesn't have one every episode. Sorry, the problem is there's not a lot to talk about here because it kind of becomes void because it felt like they needed to come back from that cliffhanger, but they couldn't do it in a realistic way.
Well, because it wasn't supposed to be 2 years, was it?
It was supposed to be 12 to 18 months, but they wanted to have more digital distribution. I guess that took a while contract-wise or something.
Yeah.
So, all right. Clutter. After nearly being mauled by the junk in his own garage, David Parker declares that his family is going to have a yard sale. Will the entire Parker family survive parting with their treasures?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I don't know about the order they made the episodes in. I feel like this is a poor episode to have.
As kind of your first regular episode? Oh.
Right. Especially because, the only other new people we met in the last episode were the Parkers.
maybe that was supposed to be the point to get you acclimated to them. Oh, go ahead, Liv.
Well,
It's
I
a-
just because it was like it's like almost only the Parkers this episode.
But I like the Parkers.
I do to a degree. I just think maybe they should have had an episode in between this, like introducing more of the kids.
Well, we'll talk about that next episode, but this does officially introduce Mrs. Parker, who is voiced by one of our favorite games journalists' wife, who we're not going to get into here, but you can look into that.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that.
Cross promotion. Not really cross promotion.
No, it isn't. Don't.
Wait, what?
It's Will attempting to be shameless.
Will, cut that out.
Fine. Trying to. Anyway.
Being weird.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about memorable scenes from this episode, could we please talk about Witch showing up and David Parker saying to him, "Wait, you didn't just come here to talk to me about my junk, right?"
Shut up. I remember that too.
I think they made a butt joke in that one.
Well, I would
They
like
could have.
I would like to think it's an accident, but how did no one in sound editing think, maybe we should take this line out?
Because everyone at Adventures in Odyssey is like super wholesome.
It has nothing to do with being super wholesome, John. I'm super wholesome and I picked that up.
Okay, not everyone though is as critical, like thinking wise.
Okay.
Like,
fair.
oh, I get that. Well, a lot of people don't pick up on that.
Right. Yeah, so this is probably also a better overall introduction to Matthew Parker. Him, renovating the train set.
Yeah.
Which you think Mr. Whitaker would love to see, because it's both an invention and a model train.
I guess.
So, do we have any other comments on... Oh, Red Hollard's also introduced in this episode.
He's such a weird character.
Who?
Red Hollard.
Oh yeah, he's how do you describe Red? He's
Hick.
No, he's the redneck.
That's the same thing.
It's
Okay,
less
well,
offensive.
Well, I wouldn't say that because someone's gonna get on you about
No,
the difference, and don't seriously stop trying to do race
That was not meant to be a
Or-
race thing.
or ethnicity or cultural stuff because you are a very insensitive person with that, and you don't even realize it.
Anyway,
So,
are we done?
Oh,
No.
there we go.
Any other comments on this episode? All right.
Nope.
Game for a mystery. Speaking of introducing kids, Simon Jones wants the hedge trimmed, but his son Barrett can't tear himself away from his portable video game until it disappears without a trace. Emily, along with her trusty sidekick Matthew, takes this as a case from a newly formed Jones and Parker Detective Agency.
Okay, this is a good introduction to them. It makes sense, for them to be doing this.
True.
I will say this. This is 4 episodes in a row with the same character in a lead part.
Matthew is kind of a lead in a lot of these early episodes.
Yeah.
You know what it probably was? They didn't have a lot of male characters coming back in, so maybe they overcompensated a bit.
Probably.
But they
And
did.
they
They
were-
had male characters. They just didn't use them.
Well, no, they had Matthew,
And they were
Barrett.
they were starting out from a hiatus, so they didn't really have too much to work with.
Yeah.
But
As far as male characters, they had Matthew and Barrett, Jay and Vance, but Jay couldn't become something until later, and we're not going to have episodes centered around Vance.
yeah, I don't think that would just be weird.
This is also fair to point out, they still haven't had an episode yet, but it centers solely on the adult characters. Well, no, there's one coming up.
No.
Yes. But yeah, so still, Emily is probably the most deplorable character the show has ever had.
Okay, that's definitely not true.
No. Emily hasn't really been annoying yet.
Her episodes are. I wouldn't necessarily say. Okay, she is sometimes, but to say that she's the most annoying character is a very stupid statement.
Yeah. She clingy, yes.
Would it-
Nosy, yes. Deplorable? No.
Would it be fair to say
Yeah.
she's the worst since the show rebooted itself?
No,
No.
there's been worse.
I'm
There's
sure
been so many one-off characters.
Okay, well, let's just think of characters
That
who
have been
reoccur.
Okay, no, let's not, because...
Okay, one-off characters being annoying isn't a problem because you never see them again.
But I think it's more deplorable to make up characters that are meant to be
Plot
main
devices.
characters and then never even bring them up again.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Jenny, where they made her super mean and they kind of made her turn her around, but then we never see her
Yeah.
again.
True. Or
So
Zoe.
Yeah.
Priscilla.
No, Priscilla had multiple episodes. She just kind of disappeared
But
before...
but they never did anything with her.
That's true.
Like, she was just there.
For Barrett to be in love with.
Yes.
Yeah.
They made a ship and they decided to sink it.
Without...
And then they got rid of him, even though he's a sibling of a character that's still on the show.
Maybe they'll explain that in a one-off line later on down the road. Hey, where's Barrett? He went to college.
He's definitely not that old.
Hey, where's Barrett? He transferred.
There we go. He transferred. He's homeschooled now.
Yes.
And
All right. Target of the week. Matthew Parker is Vance King's Target of the week, which means certain humiliation at the hands of a bully. Matthew decides to take matters into his own hands by gaining revenge on Vance during an Odyssey Coyotes baseball game.
Vance kind of deserved it, though.
True.
Yeah.
Just kind of.
Right. I mean, I don't know any school that would let something that specific fly.
Yeah. Like, there's gonna be patterns, and if enough kids say, hey, this is what's been going on.
And then they're supposed to make you be like, oh, see, what he did was really bad by being like, the school was about to do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which-
Public school and bullying really annoys me because bullying is, you can't really see bullying. You have to hear it.
Yeah.
And I don't think public schools know that yet.
Yes, if we're going to bring up the super controversial documentary Bully,
Oh.
which I don't know if anyone besides me actually saw, but it's on Netflix, and it was kind of a big topic of discussion for a while. It doesn't ever really address the point that, okay, yes, the kids are going to behave well when the principal is in the classroom.
Oh, yeah.
Or when there's an adult around or something.
Just like there are faces that everyone wears. Bullies, no exception.
Yes. Now, let's talk about the evolution of Vance and Jay. So, as everyone probably knows, Vance in this episode is voiced by a former Disney Channel actor. It's the brother from Hannah Montana.
Oh, yeah.
And they
But
got
then
it.
they never use him again.
Yes, they got a new
That
voice
was-
actor almost immediately, even though I seem to recall it being a very big deal going into those episodes that he was a part of it. Maybe it's on Amazon, I don't know. But this also does introduce us to Jay, the character who would kind of be the saving grace of some of these later episodes.
Jay is kind of interesting, though.
Well, no, Jay gets significantly better. Basically, they took Rodney and split him into two characters. Completely irredeemable juvie Rodney is Vance, and maybe there's a good side to him Rodney is Jay. Of course, Ben, the actor, got some big theater opportunity in London, so... And they can't record overseas, apparently.
That doesn't really make sense. Is that why he's gone?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a lot of people who, if they got an opportunity like that, probably would.
That's probably true.
I mean, some of the people, it's like, oh, some of the people had better jobs and stuff, but it's like, well, they were voice actors, and that was their
That was their
job.
life.
So,
Yeah, and unless you're Jess Harnell, you're probably not making a lot of money off that.
well, the person who played Connie had some big stuff before Adventures in Odyssey.
That's true. She still has a lot going on. She does speaking engagements. Hashtag bring Katie Lee to Olivet.
Didn't you do Muppet Babies?
Interesting.
That is not Connie's voice actor you're looking at.
Darn.
I don't know.
There's a
Emily,
Y in her name.
the person who played Emily was
Oh.
in Metal Gear Solid 4 and Revengeance.
Okay, well, voice actors have a tendency to pop up everywhere.
But yeah, I know. It was just weird because I was like playing the game and like she's making like eggs in a scene while like seeing a bunch of like science stuff. It was kind of just like, oh, who's that person? Okay.
Yes. I would also like to point out, I think this is the first official Wooten appearance of the reboot. Him doing the announcing.
I think so.
And honestly,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the whole episode could have just been him doing the announcing, and that would have been fine. Eating nachos.
I like Wooten. I really like Wooten.
Or, I'm talking about French fries.
I don't think you understand how much I like Wooten.
Oh, no, I get it. Anyway, so, next episode, For the Birds. Okay, I've got a lot to say about this one. Camilla desperately wants a pet, but her family seems to suffer from the Parker family pet curse. To prove her responsible, Camilla takes care of a baby blue jay. Meanwhile, Eugene has his own run-in with some feathered foes, which leads to drastic action.
That was great.
So here's the first episode where Matthew doesn't have a huge part, yet he's still in the episode.
Yes. True.
So we haven't had an episode yet that hasn't had a Parker in the main role.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit of a issue, I feel like.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, we could talk about how, for some reason, all these characters went through changes. Whit lost weight, they gave Connie boobs, and Eugene cut all his hair off. But this is the only episode where we get to see why one of those cosmetic changes happened.
Oh, yeah, because, Eugene shaved off his hair because birds kept flying into it.
Well, yes, well, if you don't have an episode where Whit suddenly starts Weight Watchers.
Well, here's the thing, though, with Connie. Since she is in college, you assume that she has had boobs for quite a while now.
Okay. I was trying to think of a cosmetic change for Connie, and that was one of the immediate differences between the two images, other than that she kind of got a more millennial-looking haircut.
Then that's it.
And because I was about to talk about Eugene buzzing his hair, it made a little more sense to say that. Anyway, I just find it weird that, so we get an explanation for why Eugene cut his hair in a audio show, but for some reason Whit having a drastically different voice, because according to the official Adventures in Odyssey podcast, he lost weight, does not get addressed.
Nope.
I will admit, they probably should have somehow addressed that.
In a
even just one line.
Well, in the album that I'm in, Camilla remarked on his big wrists. On Whit's wrists and how large they were.
Yeah, but
that's about it.
But Camilla's also apparently really tiny according to the official artwork.
Oh yeah, she is small.
Yeah.
I've seen the artwork. She's tiny.
And not a Christian at this point.
Yes.
We'll talk about that episode when we get to it, but I just felt the need to say something about that.
Yeah.
But okay, so the Parker family pet curse seems like a very okay, I mean, I get the negligent, yes, and I get it's supposed to kind of be funny that, these kids keep having unfortunate accidents with their pets. Wouldn't that traumatize a kid at some point?
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, like, they're playing this off as a big ha-ha joke, but if this was a real family, these kids would be shaken up by that.
I don't remember, exactly what was...
I feel like they left a bunny in the fridge or something.
Oh, yeah.
But, oof.
It wasn't Bunny in the fridge.
Maybe I don't remember.
There was one with a hamster.
Yeah. Oh, he kept running on his wheel because one of Matthew's experiments and died. I think that's what it was. I would also like to point out this is the first Odyssey prayer episode that isn't about a bike.
I thought
that's right.
No, wasn't there a episode? No, wasn't there at least a deleted scene or in the thing someone sits on the hamster?
Yes, you're right.
They sat on something.
Hold on. Liv is looking at the page.
It's just basically
I'm looking at
bad animal cruelty.
Yeah. I get a feeling saying on the hamster was a little too far. Because
oh my
I think
gosh.
It just wasn't on the radio.
I was watching a commercial and it has a hamster, so it's kind of relevant and not really sitting, but you know what I mean. The guy was laying carpet down and there's a bulge in the carpet, and he thinks that it's his cigarettes because he can't find them, so he pounds it down so that no one notices, and then the people are looking for their hamster, and all of a sudden blood.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so
dark, but yes.
Okay, so Liv is looking up some quotes from the show. The hamster scene was actually in the episode, but then there was the goldfish dead within 6 weeks. Matthew, I think they had a suicide pact. Okay,
Well,
Goldfish.
here's the thing, though. Goldfish don't live long anyway.
I know some people have had goldfish for several years.
But they don't really
They
live that
can.
long.
They can die.
But a goldfish
Um,
dying in 6 weeks isn't, like, stunning. And then
And Pickle's their hamster.
And then, of course, Wooten. I once had an owl named Dr. What. I would have named him Doctor Who, but I thought it might be trademarked.
Is that what the exact quote was?
Yes.
That's the exact quote.
Which,
I was like, hey, look, it's the Doctor Who reference.
random fourth wall gag. And we'll go on to the episode in a minute, but why did Eugene think it was safe to let Connie cut his hair?
Yeah.
Like, if I were Connie, I mean, I know that you don't, like, hate each other, but I feel like I would mess with Eugene a little bit and, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Why not just go to a barber?
Because there is no barber in Odyssey.
Apparently not. I mean, he couldn't go to Katrina and say, hey, can you trim a little bit?
Because whenever
I'm sure she does know how to trim hair.
No, she doesn't, apparently, because when she got a haircut, he thought it looked like a Q-tip.
Oh, that's right. But I think she went somewhere and did it like that.
Oh, yeah, well, true.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I did kind of Google this to see if it was true. Birds will sometimes nest in people's hair if it looks right. It's not a very common occurrence, but they didn't make that up for the
I'm
episode.
sure
Yeah,
someone
apparently-
read that and were just like, oh,
Also, I was once hit in the head
gotta
by.
use that.
I was once jogging and was hit in the head by a bird.
Well, that doesn't mean it was aiming for your head, despite it looking like a nest.
I had put gel in my hair that morning.
That doesn't mean anything.
Anyway, we're gonna stop talking about Will's grooming tactics, and when you're right, you're right. Emily Jones is usually right about everything from solving mysteries to cooking chili. But when she decides to try her hand at matchmaking for her brother Barrett, the singing card she creates might have disastrous consequences. Will Emily have to face a situation where she could be wrong?
I will also say Matthew Parker is technically a main character in this episode.
yes. I sent you guys a message about this where
Yep.
I'm like, the awkward moment when a middle schooler wants sex.
Is that what you...
Because, yes, because, okay, sexy toned down voice, smooth music in the background,
Well,
and just innuendos throughout the whole thing. Subliminal innuendos. And I'm like,
you're referring to the one Emily made, right? Not
yes.
Barrett's goofy.
No. The one that Emily made. So I'm like, Emily,
Yep.
you're a little mature. You should stop reading those adult books that your mom and dad have around the house.
Oh my, I'm gonna try to make a 50 Shades joke.
No, not 50 Shades, like anatomy books.
Oh,
'Cause you know
yes.
that,
Or Play Dude.
yeah.
I feel like that was an Odyssey joke at one point.
Probably was.
Maybe it was Simpsons, I don't remember.
Something.
Anyway,
It's a something joke.
alright, so this is one of probably Emily's more weak moments. I know I say a lot of bad things about Emily, but, okay. Wyatt, okay, I get her saying to her dad, you probably shouldn't serve this to the church faculty meeting, but, she comes off as rude in this episode as opposed to
yeah.
legitimately helpful.
I think, though, like, if someone, especially a child, talked to me in the way that Emily talked to her dad, I probably would have whopped her across the face and
Right.
say, you watch your tone, girl.
Yeah,
Because you don't talk to your parent like that.
yes.
Like,
Especially
even-
when he's a judge. A criminal judge.
Oh yeah, he is.
I mean, she was a little bit rude. I will say, the whole explanation, like, did you use chili powder?
What
It's
did
like, no. The key ingredient for chili.
Okay, yeah, that was probably a right move, but yeah, and okay, and I give Matthew credit for switching out the tapes, and I don't know why Matthew didn't try to stop Emily sooner, but if that ship keeps going, it's going to be a very abusive relationship.
Yeah, I think, though, like, Emily really likes to have her way, especially this early on.
Yeah.
So, like, from where I am now, she doesn't do that as much or not as hard, but she still does it. I'm just saying it's not as aggressive.
Here's the thing: she gets better, but they also make Matthew a bit more of a pushover in those situations.
Well, she's a girl. Girls are kind of terrifying.
That's true. That is why Elizabeth is no longer on this show.
Yikes.
Shots fired, everybody.
Woo.
Now, was there a subplot to this episode? I don't think there was. It might have just been Emily.
It's chilly.
Well,
I
no,
mean, like, did they ever cut away to Wit, like, making ice cream or something?
they didn't do anything like that, I don't think.
Okay, then. Oh boy, here it is.
Woo!
Grandma's visit. The Parker family is in for a bumpy ride. It all starts when their grandmother, Abuelita, a Spanish word for grandmother, comes to tell them that their Aunt Rosalita has eloped next week in Odyssey at their house. Then relative after relative arrives to stay with their family. Where will the chaos end?
The funny thing is, abuelita is not the Spanish word for grandmother. It's
Yeah.
Spanish for little grandmother.
Yeah.
Maybe she's
It's
short.
Spanish.
So she
According
probably
to-
is little, but
According to Google Translate, it's the word for, like, granny.
yeah.
That's the equivalent.
Hold
Okay,
on.
true.
It's a whale-la.
Yeah, it's a
grandma.
right.
Grandmother.
She could be tiny, or because they're
could be.
kids. It is important to note. I give Odyssey credit for going for a Hispanic mixed-race family. Does this
I love
episode?
it.
Does this episode come off as slightly insensitive to anybody else?
No, because it makes sense. Because there's someone at my church who is married into a Hispanic family,
Well,
and
yeah, but
when they're over, everyone is over.
yeah, well,
Well, I feel like some people might get upset about it, but it probably is a thing. It's like the whole thing with, like, Greek families.
Oh yeah.
Opa.
Like, some people, like, that's definitely not true of everyone, but that's probably something that happens enough where, like, even Greek families, like, understand.
Well, Greek families also use a lot of Windex chemicals in their head, but
I know that reference.
yeah, but like when their Aunt Rosalita's ex-boyfriend shows up with a mariachi band in their yard, isn't that just a little?
That was a little strange. And then she's like, "No, Ava, go and tell him to go away." And she's like, "What? I'm sorry, but if I had a sister who was like that, I would do nothing for her."
Unfortunately, our grandma would kind of do that. Make someone go outside and pretend to be the sister.
I would never do something like that. If
She'd also
my
take-
sister was a deadbeat.
You'd also take 5,000 pictures, but that's not really the point.
Yeah.
There's also a lot of good grandma humor in this episode, but let's just talk about the ending. Because we've made enough jokes about it that it's finally time to address it.
Ugh.
Okay, so yes, we end with her eloping and everyone learning a lesson about how...
She even elopes with a different guy than who she was going to elope with.
The original guy. So okay, so I guess that's sort of okay. The episode I don't think really ever addresses that grandma needs to stop dumping on Ava because she's, she can handle more.
Oh, no. Ava was very clear.
Well-
Like, don't do this.
Yeah, but
anymore.
grandma didn't seem to pick up on it, and you'll see that in the future. But okay. Anyway, so we
She
all
was better about
let's just
it.
talk about it. So we all learn our lesson, and we have a fiesta.
Yep. Because,
I
like,
love that you
everyone's
like
there
this.
anyway.
Yes.
They were planning to be there for, like, the weekend anyway, so might as well, and you have all that food, might as well use it.
So what were you saying, John?
I guess when it's that far, they didn't want people to be like, well, what did you guys do with all the food? You just all left?
Maybe you just gotta admit, it's a little strange that, we're finally introducing a Hispanic family. We're having a fiesta?
Yeah, it is a little...
I mean,
the first episode where it actually focuses on anything related to their
heritage.
ethnicity, it ends with them having a fiesta.
Because they all learned a lesson.
I think the whole episode is filled with, like, the Hispanic culture, bits and pieces of it. Like, you can ask anyone who is Hispanic, and like I said, I know there's someone from my home church who has family like this. When it's a family gathering, everyone comes.
Right.
Yes, and
Will they go and stay in a hotel? Absolutely not. You have to stock up
I'm
in
not-
air mattresses.
I'm
You
not
need-
arguing about that. I think that's fine. I'm just saying it is kind of humorous. That it's just like, oh, we're going to have this, like, and it's our first kind of thing, so how should we end it? let's just have one of the characters shout Fiesta.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Grandma's imposing in this episode. I don't think it's as bad as the time they opened a hair salon in their living room.
Oh, that was
even
an
makes
interesting
sense.
episode.
Well, that would, to me, that would just be way worse, because at least all
What
the else...
even
What?
happened to the grandma? Because she was a decent character.
Yeah, and I shipped her with Mr. Whitaker.
She comes up periodically. She's in an episode from where I am.
She hasn't been in it lately.
Right. She's in the hair episode, and then...
Grandma's Christmas visit.
Yeah.
Your servant is listening. Oh, the episode where Camilla becomes a Christian.
Yep.
So that was her last appearance.
That was this is going to sound rude. That was a stupid episode. Because they never, reference she isn't a Christian, and you have no reason to assume she isn't one.
Also, it may freak out that she's not going to church to do homework. Or whatever she was doing.
Yeah. No,
Evening church, specifically.
She wanted to go to a friend's house who was not a Christian to do homework. Homework.
Okay. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to say night church isn't important. But, if you go to church 3 times a week anyway, is skipping one sermon going to really bother God?
Well, if they're like
say.
our family, my family was, you were there when the church was open. And since my parents were both on the board and they had keys, that means we were there all the time. And both my parents were raised that same way because my grandpa also had a key to that same church, and my other grandfather was a pastor. So, yes.
All right. So, okay. Well, some people then. Anyway, finish what you... What?
I'm reading the plot for that episode about Camilla becoming a Christian.
Yeah, it's really strange.
It doesn't even make sense.
I know.
It doesn't.
It's really strange.
Camilla agrees tries to argue, but Ava tells Camilla that she's going to church Wednesday, and she will take Camilla to Susie's after church.
Yeah.
First, who sleeps over on weekdays, for one?
Remind me which album that's in?
That was...
Maybe it's Summer?
No, it's a call to something more.
Oh, so 57.
Yeah, that's what album I'm on, guys.
Wow, she's really catching up.
I know.
Oh, hang on, that album ends with quite a bang.
I guess it did air in August, so it could be considered in the summer.
Right. Sometimes Odyssey expects you to think that, okay, because it's airing in August, the episode's taking place in August because of how their Christmas episodes work. Anyway, finish what you... Doors are opening up for Olivia Parker. Too many, actually. After signing up for guitar lessons with Eugene, she also agrees to star in Connie's play. How can she possibly juggle the schedule?
Another Parker episode.
This reminds me of when I decided to take 3 science classes in one semester. I was taking Anatomy and Physiology 2, Bio 125, and Intro to Chem.
Which was probably boring.
Shut your face. I am now a chemistry major. What do you think I feel about chemistry? I love chemistry.
Ugh, good
Great.
point. Not as boring as all the education majors at our school.
Oh my gosh. Come on.
In the words of Sherlock, the most insufferably dull group of people I have ever met.
What? He never said that.
Well, I'm paraphrasing. That would have been something he would have said. You know that, too, because he would use the term insufferably dull.
That doesn't mean anything. Just because you use the vocab he uses doesn't mean you can say, oh, he said that.
Okay, back to the episode.
What do you do with most people?
Okay, back to the episode. So, it seems like Olivia only has 2 things going on, and I don't know why this is overwhelming her.
Oh, probably, I don't know why, but for some reason, Eugene's schedule can only have her guitar lessons one day, and that happens to be the same day that play practices.
Yeah.
Which fits with Connie's schedule. So, most things like that, you're at the mercy of whoever's teaching you when it comes to scheduling stuff.
That's true, but you would think, I don't know why that bothered me. I just re-listened to it and I thought, really, this isn't like she has 50 things going on that she signed up for.
No. It's just...
The Arthur episode about this addressed it better.
Oh, there's another episode of Connie that addressed it better.
That's true.
And I know that one was more about saying no. Even though this one's not about that too. It's just, it worked better as an episode.
It did.
This one didn't.
Yeah. I mean, and
Because
Connie...
it didn't really
Oh, sorry.
make sense. Like, what? You don't have your part memorized? I get that's a thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I've
That
done
is definitely a
theater.
thing.
I mean, Connie was a little hot-headed, kicking Camilla out of the play. Olivia.
But it is the point, like, who's gonna play? Like, isn't it? Didn't they say it's like the next day?
I think so, yeah.
Well, they
Like,
do.
you're-
There is a reason why they have understudies.
But they're not gonna have understudies for like a little ministry play.
True.
You'd be surprised.
Like even most places don't have understudies.
Maybe,
Like even like most high schools, I don't think have understudies anymore.
maybe bigger high schools, but I somehow... We'll see.
Even then,
Who knows?
most of the time it's like they give like the person who's the understudy is already in the play. They just have a smaller part.
Right.
Yeah.
True. We did see a performance of Cinderella with the understudy.
You don't even know that. I don't think it
There was a big
Cinderella.
sign when we walked in saying, "Tonight, the role of Cinderella will be played by so-and-so."
I don't remember.
For
that.
what?
The Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella that was an all-black cast on Broadway, but it was for some reason white in Chicago.
I don't think it was an all-black cast. Well, I think you're thinking of a different Cinderella.
No, because
Unless you're
Was
thinking
one-
of The
there was
Wiz.
one that was the thing,
I'm not thinking of...
but I don't think it was that revival.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, I saw that. I watched. I was bored online, and I saw the Tony performance of it, and it wasn't.
Okay. We're going to pretend Will did not accidentally paint himself into a corner and just continue
Oh
on with
my
it.
gosh.
That did that.
There's a movie that did it too, but I was pretty sure the original
No,
Broadway cast was...
It wasn't, and one that was a revival of a '60s show.
I'm aware of that, John. Okay. Anyway, so kind of a weird episode. Olivia must have some like stress management issues.
Yeah, maybe.
Also, I don't know if Abuelita would have been happy to have Eugene show up as well and help play the guitar.
I would have. I mean, like, I think if I was in her shoes, the fact that she took time, that they both took time to learn that specific song, that
True.
would make me
Yes.
cry.
True. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Oh. The Jubilee Singers, Parts 1, 2, and 3, a talking portrait of Frederick Douglass, tells Olivia Parker the story of the famous Jubilee Singers of Fisk University. In the story, schoolteacher Mr. White tries to assemble a group of talented singers who can save the school from a financial crisis. Isn't that the plot of School of Rock?
No,
No, like,
I don't think
not
so.
at all.
Isn't that the plot of the Blues Brothers?
Well, don't.
No,
It's not.
no.
I've got nothing to glean from this episode because
There
it's
is-
kind of dull.
Well, no, it's not.
It's
I
a
actually-
historical episode.
I like the story. It just should have been 2 parts.
Right.
I don't know. Because they had everything, like, evenly spaced out.
That is
And-
true.
Okay, that I agree, and it wasn't bad. I just feel like it could have been better as 2 episodes. It's like the Sergeant York thing.
Oh
Like
dear.
that was sectioned out. I don't know if you've gone there yet.
Oh, yeah. I love
Uh,
those episodes.
Like that was sectioned out well. I
Mhm.
still feel like it shouldn't have been 4 parts.
I don't think you're a fan of more than 2-parters anyway.
That's not
I
true.
I like some 3-parters. There's just a few where it's like, okay, you made a good 3-part. You could have made a great 2-part.
I think though if they did, the episodes would either be longer or things would be missing.
Well, Will doesn't like any history episodes in general.
That is not true. I don't like history episodes that are super long because they can use them as filler episodes.
But there are also episodes I think should have been like 3 parts and should have been 2 parts.
And maybe you're right. I just prefer the more...
Like that Revolutionary War episode with Marvin.
Oh yeah, I like that
That
one.
should have been two. Was that two parts?
That was 2 parts.
Yep.
Okay, well that was a fine one. That one actually probably could have been 3 if they had made a little more interesting parts of the revolution.
Yeah.
Lincoln was fine. That was 2 parts. I don't know. There are good 3-part episodes. I just can't think of them right now.
I mean, the one where the blind girl's kidnap's a pretty good one.
Oh yes, that was really good.
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Here, I'm looking up 3-part episodes. Zoptrack. Aloha Oi.
That was a good one. Although if you
Yeah.
read the official guide, it was apparently bloated because they had so many good jokes they didn't want to waste. They made it 3 parts.
I think that's fine.
That's fine.
What album was that on?
19. It's where the Barclays and Rathbones go to Hawaii.
Oh, that's right.
So
Search for Wit was fine. Underground Railroad was fine.
yeah.
That's a name we haven't heard in a while. The Barclays and the Rathbones.
But Barclays needs to come back. Again, I think Mr.
Well-
Whitaker should retire and Jimmy takes over Wits End.
They did mention George Barclay in one certain episode
Yes.
with Connie and Wooten.
Yeah, where the one that kind of caused me to swear on camera.
There's a lot less 3-part episodes than I thought there would be.
Yeah, there's not many. But it's not, we don't have a lot to talk about, but with the history episodes, it's a accurate representation of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Just, it's very straightforward. I think at the time, Focus was doing something big with like a Jubilee Singers revival or something. So it was kind of to tie into that. And yes, I'm aware they're all dead.
I don't think I ever saw part 3 to The Cure.
Oh, the Wooten runs the Iditarod episode.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw that.
It's a club episode.
Oh, okay.
Conclusion.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, like, I haven't heard any of the club episodes. That's probably why I'm so confused.
Yeah, well, wait until the end of album 57 to do that, because there's a character they introduced that we can't talk about, but he's the reason the club episodes start.
Okay.
It's right after the big tragedy in album 57 that, again, I kind of want to surprise Liv with.
Oh, you'll get a very angry text in the middle of the
Yes.
night then.
Wit gets salmonella from ice cream. Actually, that would have been a more interesting episode than what they did. But, alright, so that wraps up this album. So, what is everyone's final score for it?
Scores!
7 out of 10, too many Parkers.
Yeah. I think a 7 would be good.
I was leaning towards 6. I said in our last what?
I think the episodes here are good, though.
Going back through them, they're a lot better than I remember them to be, just because, you came off the hiatus and there was a noticeable dip. And yeah, there's way too many Parker-related episodes.
Ow.
But there's, like, unlike a lot of albums, I wouldn't say there's one bad, not even one, like, super forgettable episode.
Right. And maybe it's just them trying to find their footing again. The Jubilee Singers, for me, falls a little flat, but... Alrighty, it's trivia time, and this is, of course, relating to next week's album next time if Gabe ever posts next week's stream of consciousness. So anyway, in the episode where Connie and Penny take a chemistry class together, who replaces the professor?
Oh, Eugene Meltzer.
Yes,
I just even watched that one too.
I know. 'Cause-
Where
Hey!
I thought, when I first listened to that episode, I thought the voice actor was dying.
oh yeah, because he sounds a
Then
little...
at the end of the episode, he's like, "Sorry guys, I had a cold."
Well, he
That's
wasn't...
right.
Because he was actually sick when they recorded it, so they wrote that
Yeah,
in.
and I thought, because he's kind of older. I was like,
I think he's like 75.
yeah,
So?
that's pretty old.
Yeah, I know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
So I googled Adventures Through Odyssey album 52, and the YouTube video that you guys made is like the fourth result.
Whoa! All right, John does have to go. So that wraps up this episode.
Yeah.
Join us next week when we talk about album 57, Call to Something More. I'm Will.
I'm Liv.
I'm John.
We'll see you next week.
I'll send you